Howdy, my name's Anna. I am a lover and collector of makeup, and especially Natasha Denona. So today we're going to be talking about the Natasha Denona mini Biba that just came out, as well as the Rose Cheek Duo. So if you want to see how I got this look and some comparisons to the Glam face palettes, and also I'm going to tell you a little secret, then just keep watching. All right, so why did I get all of the lights out and get dressed up after work when I should be packing to go out of town because I have to work tomorrow? Because of these. These came in the mail today and I didn't think they were going to, and then they did. And so I had to do a video, had to do it. And this is the Natasha Denona mini Biba and the Natasha Denona Rose Cheek Duo. This one, you can see through the glass, but I'll give you a close up. And this one looks like so. So it has a highlighter and a blush. So, and you probably saw this in the little description of the video. So it wasn't exactly 100% honest, but it was for a reason. In my haul video, because I had actually picked up the Natasha Denona Biba palette. I didn't have it yet, and I actually picked it up at that sale, but my plan was to return it. I was going to return it. And then I was able to do some extra work at work, and so I decided to keep it. And I'm so glad that I did, because now I can compare the two, and also she's pretty. So anyways, these are the family, if you will, for the Natasha Denona Biba palettes, and this is supposed to be like an extension of the bigger palette. So I'm actually curious to see kind of if you have this, if you need this. So that's what we're gonna do today. I figured that what I would do is I would do one eye with this palette and see if I could do the same look using the big Biba palette. And I also just wanted to mention, I actually totally thought that the mini nude was the mini Biba. So I was wrong about that. I think I'd heard it referred to as that, and I don't actually have that one, so I can't compare it unfortunately today, but we will compare what I do have. And I also thought maybe just looking at the Glam face palettes and comparing those to these shades as well. And I'm gonna do this real quick before I even get started. When I first saw this, I actually thought it looked more like a mini for the retro palette. I mean, I know there was already a mini retro palette, but this one just seemed like it might be more of an extension to the retro palette. So I grabbed it out to see to see how they look together. And it's not exactly the pairing that I was expecting, as far as, you know, just being super complimentary. I actually do, I don't know that it really seems like it's an extension. Yeah, it does. It's definitely more so. Okay, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. It looks to me like it's going to lean warm. So we'll keep an eye on that. Anyways, I think I will zoom in just a little bit closer to my face and we'll get started on the eye look. So I'm going to go into Izzy as my transition. Okay, we'll do mini on the right. We'll do that on the outer half of my crease. Yeah, I think that is leaning warm. It looks very peach. It's pretty. And then I'll use a different brush. And for this, I'm going to mix freckle and buff. I'm going to do sort of my go-to eye look that I know is going to be flattering for this so that I can really compare the shades. Not sure if it's the brush or the shadows, but I'm getting less pigment on that side. I think it was the brush. Okay, and then going into Plush, which I think that would be a really pretty blush color, cheek color, using that on the inner half. And then kind of all over the lid. And then using the same style brush, but actually a new brush, so that I'm not mixing the pigments, I'm going to go into Buff again and use a bit of a lighter hand. I think that works better if I do have some duplicate brushes of some of my favorite brushes, so I might as well use the same thing. So now I'm going to go into the shade called Bruno and deepen up that corner. And bring it sort of halfway in. That works. And then bring that out a bit. Just the excess. I'm gonna pick up a little more. And then new brush, but same style, into Rayon from Biba. It's definitely a different formula. And it's definitely not as deep. Let's see if the shade Seed will get me there. Actually, I'm going to mix these 3 shades. Maybe we can do this. I didn't want to get the mirror in there, but there we go. Now they'll be right side up for you. I'm going to mix Cocoa and then Pasha and Seed for this. I'm going to mix all 3 together, try to get more depth. I didn't necessarily think that there were dupes. I was just wondering if I could get the same look. And so far it kind of seems not, so that's cool. Yeah, that's definitely deeper. All right, now with that last brush that I used, I'm just going to diffuse around the edges a bit. And then using Blaze Nude on my pinky, Ooh, that's really chunky. I'm going to put that all over the lid. It's pretty. It's not blinding or anything. And then I think Monroe from Biba, from Big Biba, feels like a little bit smoother formula. It wasn't quite so chunky. So it's definitely a slightly different hue, and I don't think it's quite as like blingy. Add a little more. I'm sort of curious to see, in fact, I'm just gonna compare on my arm these 3 shades right now. So this is the Blaze Nude from, and you can see it's just like more chunkiness came up on my finger than with the Biba palette. This is from Mini Biba. And then Monroe and Shine from Big Biba. You can see Monroe is kind of smoother on my finger, and then Shine was actually kind of chunkier again. So those are the 3 shades all together. And I do think that Monroe shade was the closer in the Big Biba to the Little Biba, that Blaze Nude shade. They are all pretty shiny. They swatch well, just like all Natasha Denona. And then on a little itty bitty brush, I am going to take this Blaze Nude, my right eye, on my brow bone, and then in the inner corner. I'm gonna go with Izzy on the lower lash line. Then with a similar shaped brush, going back into Monroe for the left brow bone. And then going to use Buff for the lower lash line. It is definitely deeper than the shade that I was using from the other palette, from the little palette. Ooh, so I better be a little careful. It's a bit similar, but not 100%. You can see it is a little deeper. Go back in on the other side. Also, inner corner. And this is Monroe again from the Biba palette. Big Biba, Big Biba. All right, I'm going to put on the rest of my makeup, and I'll be back with some final thoughts and some swatch comparisons. All right, so eyes are done. I have my lips on. And next, let's do the Rose Cheek Duo. It's very tiny. It's super compact. Like, how do I, it's so itty bitty. Which actually I kind of love as long as I can get my brush into the pans. I think it's a similar size to the mini Bronze and Glow that I really love. That bronzer is my favorite bronzer. I just love the shade. Anyways, it is a little bit of a small pan, but good to throw in your purse for travel. Oh, it's actually got a pretty decent sized mirror. I'm just gonna use that. Kind of a peachy blush. I like it. It's definitely cute. I do think it goes with the eyeshadow palette very well. In fact, that shade that I said would be a cute blush color is not 100% different. I guess it's a little bit less pink. All right, and then the highlighter. I like the formula too. It's more of a powder, I think, than a lot of the other blushes that I have from Natasha Denona. And then see how this highlighter goes. It looks a little dark for me, but I always say that and then it rarely is, so we'll see. Can you see that? All right, and then it's got sort of a gold to it, which I generally find very flattering for me. Again, this one leans warm. I mean, I think it goes well together. As far as this, I think it's a cute little duo. I don't know if really it's anything special or different or new or, you know, groundbreaking at all. It's kind of the same old, but it is small and portable, super cute and easy to throw in your purse or for travel. And I think the shades are very flattering. I like them. They're on the warm side, which also matches the eyeshadow palette. So, what do I think of the eyeshadow palette? I mean, I like it. Do you need it? I don't know. If you have Biba, I mean, I don't think... So this is the smaller palette. And this is... Here. So this is what I have on. And I think it's a great compact color story that works really well as one look. I like actually the transition shades in here. They're a little bit lighter. There were a couple other sort of transition shades in here, but this one is like very mustardy, very, very warm. And then this one is quite a bit lighter. So I will say I like the mid-tone, especially this one being a little lighter, but yeah, these being very mid-tone were helpful. I think this is like a very quick, easy look, I guess would be the thing. This is a very quick, easy look. Formula seemed fine. I think I actually had more trouble with the formula of the big Biba. And not actually trouble, but it did seem, let's see, like... I maybe got a little, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. The formula is Natasha Denona, and it's good. So yeah, if you're looking for a little neutral palette, I really like this one. Do you need it if you have this? Probably not, unless you're a Natasha Denona collector. And that's kind of what I was expecting, to be honest. But I wanted to try. I guess I'll just swatch a couple of these quickly. I'm going to swatch Izzy and Buff. So Izzy from Mini Biba and Buff from Big Biba. And yeah, it's just the smaller palette is a lighter hue. I don't think it's pigment. I think it's just a little bit lighter hue. And it's actually just slightly cooler. Very similar tone, like very similar color. And like I said, I actually prefer, for my skin tone, I'm pretty light. I do prefer the mini on that for that transition. So that'll be interesting in playing with the Big Biba to see how that works out with the transitions. Although, again, I think the look turned out, I mean, this one is a little deeper. You can tell if you look at it. I mean, with my hair in the way and stuff, no one would ever know that I have two different palettes on the two eyes. But I think, yeah, I think I do prefer the transition shade on the mini better. I mean, it's hard to compare apples to apples in that way because, you know, in this palette, you also have these like super cool tones. Yeah, it's definitely a different animal, but I was curious to see if you could get the same look, and I think you can. I think you can. And I think maybe even a, you know, makeup artist could really make that happen. All right. So I will now just swatch the two deeper shades from this. So Bruno here and then Wine here. So Bruno on the top and then Wine. Bruno's the deepest. Wine. And I didn't use Wine today. And I'm gonna swatch a few, probably these four. So go into Cocoa, Rayon, Pasha, and Seed. And just compare those. So Rayon, Cocoa, Pasha, and Seed. Yeah. They're definitely all unique. They are their own shades. I would say the closest ones are Wine from the Mini Biba and then Pasha from Biba, from Big Biba. And again, it looks like the mini is a little bit lighter in shade, but the color's the same. And since I have it here, I thought I would just compare the Rose Cheek Duo blush to the, and I think this is the same as the Daria shade in the Big Face palette, but this is the Love Cheek Duo. And so I thought I would just compare those two blushes. I'll do the mini first. I guess it is a little creamy, but it's not as creamy, and I like it a little less creamy. I like powder blushes, though. I'm not the biggest fan of cream blushes. And then here's the Love Cheek Duo. Oh yeah, that's much brighter. And I prefer the kind of warmer tone of the rose. I like this. I think it's cute. I don't know that the highlighter is spectacular. It kind of reminds me of the mini Bronze and Glow that I have. It's just kind of there. It's fine, but it's not spectacular to me. Nothing that stands out. And then last but not least, I wanted to show you the this against the Glam face palettes that just came out. At first glance, it just sort of looked like a combo of the two, honestly. The blushes were very different. The blushes didn't compare at all, in my opinion. In fact, I can just hold it up. I don't have enough hands, but we'll try. Okay, we're gonna do this one at a time because I almost dropped it, and I do not want to do that to another palette, especially since I love these so much. So here are the blushes, and this is the deeper palette. Not the same. And then the light one, again, not, they're closer, but they're definitely different. Well, here. All right, so, and I'm gonna do this on my other hand. My poor hand is getting a little tired of getting wiped off and swatched and wiped off and swatched. So I'm gonna do the little mini rose cheek palette on the top, and then the blush from the lighter. Actually, these are very similar formulas, and they are kind of these like cream to powder formula. I don't know, it worked a little better for me. So it actually looks like the Glam palette is a little bit more orange and a little less pink. But they are similar. They are definitely not the same. So there's that. The highlighters are much blingier in the face palettes. And actually, I think that the highlighter sparkly shades in these are much more sparkly than this mini palette. Let me see if I can hold them up together. Oh, I need so many more hands. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It seems to me that they're just blingier in the Glam face palettes. But I just think there are some very similar tones there. Those top shades. And then that was the deeper palette. And this is the lighter palette. And actually this one is less similar. But it's all in the same family. As far as, you know, I think they just all sort of carry a different function. You know, basically this right here is like smaller packaging than this. And the shades are slightly different, you know? I think this is a little bit easier for like travel or for just putting in your purse. Like this, I'm not gonna carry this in my purse. Like no way, no way, no how. I guess I don't really carry makeup in my purse. I usually do it at home and then I'm done, except maybe sometimes, you know, like lip products. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it's just gonna be personal preference. I mean, this packaging is so pretty and fun, and I actually keep this like on my vanity on my desk because I just like the way it looks. It makes me happy. And yeah, they get fingerprints on them, but they're so beautiful. Whereas, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of actually the same story. I do think there's some I think there's a lot of redundancy. I don't know that this was so necessary. I like it. I think that it's a cute little neutral palette. I didn't think, this wasn't like, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. It wasn't the most exciting shimmer. I mean, you have a shimmer, great, awesome. But I don't know, it was just kind of, I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty. Well, that is the Natasha Denona Mini Biba and Big Biba and Glam face palettes and a bunch of other comparisons, as well as the Rose Cheek Duo. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're subscribed, thank you so much. If you did enjoy this video, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed, I'd love it if you'd consider subscribing. Anyways, happy holidays, and I hope that you are all staying warm. I think it's gonna snow here next week, and I'm so excited. Anyways, hope you're having a good day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.